Hi, this is Attorney Mike Gravel. I'm coming to you from beautiful Florida, and today we're going to talk about Better Call Saul, Season 4, Episode 10. It's called Winner, and as usual, it's good stuff. Welcome to Law Talk. Okay, we kick this episode off with one of the most charming moments in the whole series. I give you Ernie doing karaoke to Total Eclipse of the Heart, and Kim is awesome in this as well.
Once my full powers are unleashed, you want to risk that? Man, Ernie's really going for it. Yes he is. Yep.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, or the dogs get it. This is more charming karaoke. Jimmy actually manages to get Chuck to come out and sing for his celebration night for passing the bar. And of course, Chuck, in usual fashion, can actually sing.
Building me a fence, building me a home, thinking I'd be strong there.
At the end of that last episode, Werner, as I should probably say, took off, and the hunt for him begins here.
Most likely ran off towards the highway. You two head north and south. See if he's got his thumb out. You two go to the train and bus stations and use the cover story. You stay with the crew.
Meanwhile, Jimmy is starting a new plan to get his license back. He's trying to win over the appeal board for the appeal for the decision that he couldn't get his license back. And he does it in the most insincere and despicable way possible, but it is funny.
Greenfield, this is Emily Reed.
Hello. We knew Chuck back in our time with the Native People's Education Council.
Oh yes, I remember.
Just in case you think Jimmy might have been actually moved by going to his brother's grave, you find out here he wasn't.
I was afraid no one would show up. How'd it look? How'd it feel? Felt like I looked sad.
Here, Gus figures out that Werner is missing, and Mike is trying to calm him down and help Werner, but it's probably too late.
You're left with the most expensive hole in the ground this side of the Mississippi.
You can find him.
This is on me. I'll fix it.
So part two of Jimmy's plan, in addition to the insincere emotion at the grave, he also donates for a reading room in Chuck's honor and makes it known to everybody involved that it was him, although claiming he wants to be anonymous.
Really? Dude, I'm pretty sure I heard someone say you paid for all of it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't.
First, we get Howard to clear himself as the anonymous donor, and now we drop the obvious hints.
The invitation says anonymous donor.
I assume that meant HHM.
Baked Brie?
Don't mind if I do.
Actually, I happen to know Mr. James McGill paid for the reading room himself.
Jimmy, at the party for the reading room, decides that maybe this isn't enough and comes up with yet another and even more despicable plan.
Of flames. Her clerk's chamber's on fire, and she's trapped. But then, through the fire and smoke, a figure emerges. It's Jimmy McGill. See, I rescue a judge. Now that people are going to talk about.
Kim handles this horrible idea with grace and dignity, and it's this episode's favorite line.
And it's too big. And probably it's not how I come back from insincere. Right. Okay.
Mike is really a combination of MacGyver and Sherlock Holmes. He does the Sherlock Holmes thing to determine where Werner is with some very smart deductions. But now he's going into his MacGyver phase. He's got Lalo following him, and he knows it. And he pulls into a parking lot to set him up. As you can see, he cleverly gets a car between himself and Lalo and then finishes the plan here. The plan works to perfection, and Lalo takes it with all the grace and dignity of the psychopath that he is.
Excuse me. I'm at the north gate, and the machine is stuck. Which gate? The north gate.
This next bit is really good. It's not really so important for the plot. They're giving away a scholarship, and it just sort of is Jimmy character development. But one of the participants has shoplifting on her record, and of course Jimmy identifies with her. What I just like is this. I can only show so much of it, but he goes on a couple-minute, Machiavellian diatribe to this 13-year-old girl, talking about how life isn't fair, and it all culminates in him quoting ABBA. It's excellent.
You make them suffer. You don't matter all that much to them. So what? So what? Screw them. Remember, the winner takes it all.
Here Lalo shows that he's also no dummy, even though he's a psychopath. He ends up sort of following Mike's path and coming to the same conclusions. Both are on the look for Werner. And here we finally catch up with Werner, and he's sunning himself in Crocs and socks.
Is there a Mr. Ziegler here? Mr. Werner Ziegler?
Oh, yes. I am Ziegler.
There's a call for you.
Oh, yeah, I will be right there.
So Lalo actually figures out Werner's location, gets him on the phone, and Werner, once again, innocently, he just is not a criminal at heart, he's an engineer, and he innocently starts running his mouth again to the wrong guy.
Yes. The concrete is standing by. They can stop pouring. It's very straightforward. Kai will not...
Mike steps in and puts an end to the situation, but this is just a great bit. It just shows the character of both Lalo and Mike so well.
Werner? Mr. Ziegler? Michael.
So this is a heart-wrenching scene where Werner knows what's going on and is not even fighting it, and it's just difficult for all involved. Werner doesn't particularly want to die, and Mike doesn't really want to kill him, but they both know that's what needs to happen.
I will walk out there to get a better look.
And here's the inevitable outcome. Finally, Jimmy gets another chance. He goes to the appeal board, whatever that is, whatever the appeal is for the determination of the bar. And he gets another hearing right here, and it gives me a chance to talk about law stuff.
And he could be judgmental and difficult. He knew how to get under your skin. Could be a real son of a bitch. Chuck?
My take on this is a couple of things. One is, this is modest and you could probably get away with it, but I would veer away from using son of a bitch. It isn't that big a deal. You can probably get away with it, but again, you're trying to get your license reinstated. You want to stay clean. Having said that, that's sort of his nature and it's in his character. It makes sense, and the board probably wouldn't freak out over it. There's really no audience, and they're all adults. They get it. He does generally a very, very good job as portrayed in his little defense of himself. The other thing that strikes me as odd, and I don't even know, so I've never been here, I've never done this, but boy, that seems like a fast appeal. That can happen, but generally speaking, it would take longer than that. I mean, they just got the decision. He's out at the gravesite because it's marking the year anniversary of his brother's death, and I don't have the exact time frame, but I get the sense that this is within a week or two of that, and he's before an appeal board. It's possible. It just depends on what the procedure is. I'm not looking up the procedure for an appeal on a license denial in New Mexico, but I would be shocked if you could get in front of an appeal board that fast. But it doesn't matter. For the purposes of the show, it makes sense and it moves along with the plot, so it doesn't bother me. It just strikes me as pretty darn fast.
To reinstate. Yeah. Did you see those suckers? That one asshole was crying. He had actual tears. Jesus, Kim.
And there you have it. Just in case you thought Jimmy might have learned a lesson or changed heart, they make it clear in no uncertain terms that he's still Jimmy. It's pretty funny, and it's also kind of, it's not flattering. I mean, it's not a good thing for his character, but it is in line with his character, and that's why the writing is good. So the two big takeaways for the show, obviously, are this: Jimmy gets his license back and hasn't learned a damn thing, and Werner, likable as he is, he couldn't get out of his own way. Loose lips sink ships, and he sunk his own ship here. Here at Law Talk, we do a lot of videos answering common legal questions. We also do reviews of law in the movies and then on TV. We also share some of our more interesting cases. We're always putting out new videos. So if you like that, please hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell.